kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Nestled in the heart of the Pacific Northwest, we welcome everybody here to Portland International Raceway on the road course as we go left and right. Hello, everybody. I'm Alan Bergen, just south of St. Louis here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Studio. And to my right, all the way from northern Maine, is the big dog Shane Lake making his return to the airways here on Races Elite. Shane, how's it going?
More like Central Maine, but Bubba, you said it best yourself. We're here in the Pacific Northwest, home of Dame Time. And Go Ducks Go sits this little gem of a racetrack known as Portland International Raceway, where that turn 1-2 chicane complex can really put a damper in your race. And with 5 guys already locked in and 7 trying to get in on points, it's going to be a matter of time to see who's going to try to blow that chicane worse, and hope to God that they actually do try to make it, because this is the next to last race before they go to Kern County and figure out who will be the 12 making their playoffs starting in 2 weeks.
Yeah, just watching in practice, Shane, that turn 1 chicane, I mean, you carry a lot of speed coming off that last corner onto that front straightaway. And if you miss that chicane, you got to slow down, give up that time, and hit the course once again. You got to be ready to go. As there's a lot of, it's a very technical road course. I've driven it myself. It is so technical, I can barely get around it. But nonetheless, 14 talented drivers signed in tonight and leading the way here in qualifying. is the Nitrous Cowboy, Troy Thomas.
Yeah, this track, you said it yourself, man. It is technical no matter what you're driving, no matter how you're driving it. Doesn't matter if it's a GT car, Indy car, stock car, or even an open wheeler. This place is technical. And this is a track that will separate the men from the boys when everything's settled. And I can't wait to see who tackles this better. Because, again, this is a points-paying event. This is the next to last before you go into Kern. You need to have a solid day here in order to go into Kern County next week and actually have a shot at the playoffs.
Absolutely. You couldn't have said it any better here. Taking a look at the playoffs right now, for the Xfinity Series, Brandon Poffenbarger has set 2 wins on the year, along with Andrew Duff. Now, the Misfits are all in except for Jesse Fox, who had missed a lot of races. But right now, we're going to be watching Cody Benelli and Kirby Wainscott, who can only miss one more race. And I tell you what, if you're going to miss a race, you might not want to miss this one. Or you might want to, depending on your flavor of the week. Road courses may not be your strong point. I know road courses aren't for everybody. Now, I tell you what, just a 10-point, basically 10 points separates Kirby from Cody. So with Kirby not being in the field tonight, that's almost going to lock Cody Benelli in.
Yeah, I'm looking at the points right now. You got Josh Renette and Alex Steff pretty much sitting pretty going into tonight's race. But then you got to look at Dennis Kane, Robert Yost Jr., 2 points between them, both over 40 going over into the cut line. Our buddy Troy Thomas, 34 above the cut line. These guys are going to have a strong night here tonight in order to be able to move on.
Yeah, absolutely. You couldn't have said it best here as we get ready to go 45 laps here around Portland International. And I tell you what, I would expect that this track is going to produce the same great racing that we see in real life here when the O'Reilly's series comes back here in the midsummer. I'm trying to get that Xfinity out of my mind now.
Dude, I'm old school. I still call it the Busch series.
Fair enough. But nonetheless, getting a rundown here right now as qualifying is getting ready to about a minute and a half away from wrapping up here. Troy Thomas solidly on the pole. Now, he has ran a 1:16:39. So we're getting around here at a minute, just under a minute and a half a lap. So, I mean,
yeah.
For me as a road course guy, this is one of those tracks that are just trying to get through it. Just, right in the back, stay out of trouble. Because, I mean, if you could keep this thing on the asphalt, you're probably going to have a pretty good shot of, finishing really well.
Yeah, the key thing, as you just said, keep it right on the blacktop. And with it being, looking through the weather, a 67-degree day, track temp right around 90, there's going to be a lot of grip to be had here, but with that grip comes speed, which means you also got to back your braking points up a little bit. I mean, some of these guys might be braking originally at the 150 marker. They may have to back it up to the 200 or just in between, like right around 175, especially down the back straightaway, and then again going into turn 1, because you're just going to be carrying so much more going into these corners. You're going to end up overdriving this at some point, and somebody's going to pay the price.
Yeah, we look for Calamity Corner to be around that chicane. And then also, probably I want to say the right hand or the left hander right after the chicane. That's what I'm looking at to be the trouble spot.
Is it just me, or does that track map look like a 7-year-old drew it and just forgot the front wheel well?
We're going to show you the grid.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying.
We're going to go and
we're 6 minutes in, and I've already broken Allen. That's a new record for me.
On the pole tonight, all the way from Boone, North Carolina, the Nitrous Cowboy of Troy Thomas to his outside out of Detroit, Michigan. None other than the 4-car Dennis Kane on his outside. Cody Benelli fighting for that last and final transfer spot in the points is on the inside of row number 2 to his outside out of Midwest Motorsports to be Joshua Neal. Hickory, North Carolina's own Truth Hoke will start 5th, while to his outside he'll be flanked by Hope Valley, Rhode Island's Andrew Tuft. Stephen Luttrell out of Kansas City, Missouri. He'll start on the inside row number 4, and to his outside will be Curtis Acker. Barry, what are you doing? Nelson will start 9th, while Runaway Dunaway, Sean Dunaway, will start 10th. Starting 11th will be Brandon Poffenbarger. And out of Zoo Yost Racing, it will be the 83 car of Rob Yost Jr. Looking a little deeper in the field here. Rounding out the field tonight will be Hope Valley, Rhode Island's other pride and joy, Alex Tutt, while Lee Campbell will start in the 14th position. That is your 14-car starting field here tonight, Shane. And here we go, making that one lone lap as Brandon Poffenbarger will start from the pits.
Yeah, might be a safer idea knowing that turn 1 is going to be a whole lot of calamity because these guys will go 4 or 5 wide like we saw in the Axel series. It's just a matter of who's going to send it in that much deeper.
Well, we definitely do have some onboard cameras for you tonight. One of Troy Thomas here. He's going to be showing us some shots from around Portland. Andrew Tuft there in at number 98 car to Ford Performance Online, or on Ford Performance on board here tonight. He's going to be showing us some shots from the roof. Rob Yost,
well, we are
he's going to bring the.
I was going to say we are online and on board. Rob Yost is giving us a view here off the Red Bull roof.
And what would it be if we didn't have Steve Luttrell give us a ride here from Kansas City, Missouri, here in that number 36 car?
Something tells me Steve might be a little upset after what happened last Friday with his Kansas City Chiefs.
It's the curse of Taylor Swift.
It's got to be something. At least my homie got me 65 points in fantasy, and I end up winning this week. That's all I care about.
Well, I can tell you right now what's not a fantasy is this field getting locked and loaded to go 45 laps around.
I see what you did. I see what you did there.
Around Portland International Raceway. 45 laps, no cautions. If you spin out, try to get it going as soon as physically possible.
Yeah, and as that iRacing.com, Silverado's going to make that hard right-hand turn. It's going to be the Nitro Cowboy, Troy Thomas and Dennis Kane fighting for that front row. The green flag is about to be up. Barney's got it going. And from the Pacific Northwest, for the Racers Elite, we are green.
Green flag is out, and we are headed into turn number 1. Into the chicane.
Oh, these boys better be careful here.
Oh, the camera just took it.
Go for it. Be fine. Be fine. Don't worry about it. Looks like Troy came out with the lead as they're side by side behind him for third.
And looks who's right there, right next to him. Cody Benelli, right in second position as they come through a more technical spot on the road course here.
Yeah, Dennis Kane lost out 2 positions. He dropped to 4th from the outside of row 1. Unfortunately, that's the nature of this track. You're going to end up getting swallowed up. But, you know, it's 45 laps. There's no cautions. Strategy is available here. So I wouldn't be surprised if, pit strategy keeps them up towards the front here towards the end of this.
Definitely. When you come down pit road, you got 45 laps, no cautions. As we can see the 14th position here. We're going to switch that to represent the car numbers, though. Brendan Poffenbarger started from the pits. He knows he's not going to go a lap down. He knows, whoa! Dennis Kane giving his teammate a shot in the bumper there.
That's not surprising. What that's going to do is open a door for the boss man around here, Andrew Teff, to try to take over position. And this is for third. Can Andrew get the job done going into the chicane? Yeah, close. He gets it done.
Whoa, and Joshua Neal.
And he's around.
He crashed right there as we were alive, so no need to look at that for that. We will.
No, he got a little loose on the throttle, and then he got tagged by, I believe, that was the 4 behind him that got him.
I believe it was.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. But back on board here with the 19 of Cody Benelli. Again, he needs a strong night in order to try to keep his playoff hopes alive. And right now, following somebody like the pole sitter with the cowboy Troy Thomas, I think this is going to be smart because right now there's enough of a gap where you can kind of see what everybody's doing around you. You're not always having to look up in the mirror. You can focus on hitting your marks, get through the first pit stop, and then focus on racing the last 15, 20 laps.
Yeah, I could agree more. Just kind of ride here as we're coming to a faster part of the race course. I want to see this right here as the speed drops heading into that third one, and then at chicane. We're going from 140 down to about 45. That's a drop in speed.
Went from 160, I noticed, down to 37 going into the second part of that chicane. You're down in the first gear in that. Whoa.
We were just on board for that one. Let's see what happened there. Steven Luttrell.
That looked bad.
Here we are.
Luttrell's going to try to outbrake into the first part. Gets there, gets a better run, and kathunk. And then he gets rear-ended by, who was that?
It only showed me two guys.
Whoever was in that third white car absolutely jacked up the rear end of that. That was bad. Someone's going to have a whole lot of front end damage now.
Well, just as you say that, Troy Thomas is only a half second ahead of Cody Benelli. Now, those two guys are about 3 seconds ahead of Andrew Tuff. There's the eyeball test coming back onto the drag strip there. And as if you didn't know it, there's a drag strip at the end of the front straightaway. I believe they used the part of the 8th mile there if you were a drag racing nut.
Yeah, I think they do. It looks like they do have a good chunk of that 8th mile, and then it's just all the runoff.
Yeah.
What they consider runoff, we end up using for a front straightaway. Figure that one out.
I mean, Sonoma's the same way, but nonetheless. Actually, we don't even see the front. We don't even see the drag strip at Sonoma.
No, I mean, you know it's there. You know it's there, but at the same token, you don't see a whole lot of runoff unless you're watching the pace car. Because when they come off of 11, if they don't go down pit road, they throttle up and basically hit the drag strip.
Well, nonetheless, here we are. We're watching Dennis Kane track down Andrew Tuff out of Hope Valley, Rhode Island. Meanwhile, you're not missing anything up in the front with Troy Thomas and Cody Benelli, as they have essentially just started driving away slowly but surely, inch by inch away from Andrew Tuff. As Andrew Tuff comes out of that last corner onto the drag strip. And it's about to be a 3-car battle for third, with Truth Hope putting his name in the hat.
Yeah, I think Tuff has been having a little bit of an issue getting around here. I'll tell you one track that we used a whole lot of the drag strip for, Heartland Park, Topeka.
Yes.
Back when the trucks in the ASA ran up there.
Speaking of Truth Hope, we're going to go on board with that double nickel AC Delco Chevrolet out of Hickory, North Carolina. Here's how Truth Hope is doing, getting around this. As you say, road course that was drawn up by a 7-year-old. We got to put the wheel well on.
Saying. But you also don't hear him shifting a lot in that more technical section. I think they're leaving it in second gear and just running that until they end up getting down to this back straightaway.
I mean, could you imagine the next gen racing here? There's the Cup cars, there's Gen 7.
This could get interesting. Oh, using a whole lot of runoff going through that section.
Here's the thing. Truth Hope was one of those drivers. When I started broadcasting this league and even racing with these guys, who would cringe at road courses. He had learned so much from Troy Thomas, and I would put Troy Thomas in that category to be a road course specialist, if you will. As Barry Nelson has crashed, let's go back to the live picture. The wide view and see what happened to Barry. What are you doing, Nelson? Here's the replay. And, well, he ran 5 laps his way and not Harry's way. and that's what got him.
Yeah, and he got on the throttle just a little too hard and decided to park it up against the fence nose first.
It was a sawtooth. It was a kiss.
Yeah, he probably just scuffed the wrap up a little bit.
Maybe. It is one big sticker. So.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, those of us that are old remember when they actually painted the cars.
Troy Thomas has essentially pulled away from the 19 car. Now finds himself 6 seconds ahead of Cody Benelli. Cody Benelli doing exactly what he needs to do. Just continue to ride and make laps. As long as he finishes this race, because, Kirby Wainscott not in the field tonight, he will solidly lock himself into the top 12. With that 10 points just separating Kirby and Cody.
Let's put it this way. Troy Thomas just ran a 1761. Benelli ran a 1979 here. That is insane. That's a 2-second plus differential for these two cars.
Yeah, there's Troy Thomas just now coming into that little S loop, if you will. I don't dare call it bus stop because it's not a bus stop.
No, it's not. It really isn't, but still, it's technical part of the track, whereas everyone else is just now coming through it. Troy's looking at the back straightaway and throttling up, so this already seems like it's going to be a walk away, but again, hit strategy can alter things. Someone can miss a shift, which is easy to do around here. Anything can still happen. It's still early enough.
Yeah, 7 laps in. Now, Andrew Tuft has essentially started to catch Cody Benelli, Cody Benelli just gets a little bit loose coming back onto the front stretch. Andrew Tuft has been so good on road courses also. Don't discount him as he could make this a battle. He at the end with Troy Thomas as we got some more cars off the track. Let's see what happened to Stephen Luttrell here in that 36 car to Kansas City, Missouri.
Let's take a look. Coming down the back straightaway. Hard on the brake pedal, and he just cooked it.
Now, Shane, as a driver, you kind of get complacent on where you're at on the race course, and you sort of forget those. You sort of forget those corners are coming, so they're essentially too late.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, you get on the throttle, you get on the brake pedal too hard. Back end starts hopping around as you're downshifting. You end up wheel hopping, and the next thing you know, you're lifting off the brake pedal trying to catch it, you blow the corner.
So we continue to watch Andrew Tuft here in that number 98 car continue to do what he's going to do. Once again, he may be running third, but as we see a brake lock up from Cody Benelli, and that's just Cody Benelli just overdriving the race car. Now, we take a look at this weather here. It's still 91-degree track temperature. Now it's down to 88. How much of that you think is going to play into the tire wear and how hard these guys are going to drive this car?
I think a lower track temperature is really going to be playing a huge factor here because, again, it's grip level. You end up putting a lot more grip in these cars with the lower track temperatures. You're going to end up cooking yourself at the end of the day as well because you're going to end up thinking you've got more grip than even what the tire originally had. And you're going to end up locking things up and screwing yourself over. So you almost have to drive the car like you're anticipating the track not to change. But at the same token, at the end of the race, figure, okay, I've still got this much tire life left. Let's push it.
Yeah, absolutely. As we are working lap number 9, we are 8 laps scored. We're 9 laps in now. And so far, it's been the Troy Thomas show. Sits the drop of the green flag, gets that jump in the chicane. Troy Thomas just looks so smooth as he just does this road course racing right now. He does race in a GT3 league on Monday nights, which really makes him a much better road course racer than I.
Oh yeah.
It's like me. It's like you put Troy Thomas on some dirt, and he's gonna be so lost.
Yeah, I mean that's when you come out with the old saying, it's a fish out of water. You put most people on a configuration they're not familiar with, they're going to be looking like a deer in the headlights. Whereas you get people who are used to driving road courses, driving stuff like a GT3 car or an LMPH car or, what have you, You get them on a road course, even in a stock car, and they're happy. So this just makes sense that Troy would be happy here right now, knowing what this car can do on this track.
Taking a look back here, Joshua Neal has crashed here, and I'm gonna bet dollars to donuts is going into the turn 1 chicane. Here he goes, hard on the brakes.
He wheel hopped it going in, missed the fence, and slid it basically to a stop.
No one hits him, and that says a lot about the talent of these drivers.
That's a big thing because he literally slid to a stop right in front of everybody.
Well, here's the eyeball test here at lap number 10. Cody Benelli about 6.5 seconds back. We'll call it 7 here. And he's got Andrew Tuff right behind him as we're going to go on board with Hope Valley, Rhode Island's own Andrew Tuff here.
Yeah, Andrew Tuff closing in, though, okay, well, there's your best lap for him in recent memory. A 17.98 compared to Benelli's 18.27. So he is closing in on him.
I do, here's the thing, as we're riding along with Andrew Tuff, I love the hustle that Andrew is putting into that race car. Now, Andrew's one of those guys that will play the strategy card. Whoa! Right in front of us, Cody Benelli gets all kinds of upset. And that's going to allow...
he over...
I was going to say, it's going to allow Andrew to get caught up.
Yeah, he overdrove that corner in a big way, and now he's going to have to be on the defensive from Teff. But there's not much he can do right now because Teff's going to have to run coming down the back straightaway, and looks like Teff is going to clear him relatively easy.
I think at this point, Cody Benelli just needs to hit the reset button, try not to be so egregious with what he's doing on the racetrack, and log laps. He knows he's going to be in the top 12 after this race. No need to push the car this early on in the race.
Teff gets a little bit high and wide coming off that corner, using up all that runoff room. I mean, you said it, but Benelli's going to end up being in the points when this is done because Kirby's not around, which makes next week at Kern even more interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget tomorrow night on the Racing Elite Network, the cars and stars of the Next Gen Series. They go to New Hampshire tomorrow night.
Ooh, my home track.
Your home track. And then Sunday night on Icon, we head to Bristol.
Well, let's not forget what these guys have going on Saturday afternoon with their race.
Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, you can catch myself and the big dog Shane Lake as we go 500 laps, 500 miles at Bristol, the last great Coliseum. That one's going to be a slugfest.
Don't make it worse than it is. It's like 266 miles, not 500. If it was 500 miles, we're looking at 1,100 laps, and I'd say hell no to that. That's a 24-hour race that I don't want to be a part of.
Well, as we come back out to the live picture.
That's like running 3 Bathurst 1000s. No, thank you.
I mean, they call it a 500-mile race.
It's 500 laps, 266.5 miles. I did the math.
Okay. Well, at least someone's math is mathing. But right now, everybody playing nice here as we are working lap number 13. Alan Bergen and Shane Lake on the call here at the Racers Elite Network. Want to thank all the partners, Admin Box, Family Traditions RV. That's a new sponsor that came on board. These guys, KS Designs. Make sure you give them a shout out. It's Kensley Smith.
Yeah, make sure you follow every last one of these sponsors we have rolling up here at the top of the screen. Those sponsors are the big reason that not only are we here, but these racers are here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love supporting businesses that support racing. I try to as much as possible.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's why I've still got Beechridge Barbershop on my cars, even though it's been a while, because my buddy Matt has been on the 51 car of Jeremy Clements for a long time. So there you go.
Absolutely. Troy Thomas still working all by his lonesome out here and on a road course. That's where you want to be. He knows there's not any pressure He he
Oh,
doesn't have to play defense.
he-
He can just drive.
He's just hitting his marks right now. This is just cruise control for him.
Here's Andrew Tefton a little bit further back. Here's the working lap number 14. 12 seconds behind the Nitrous Cowboy, who doesn't need to use Troy Thomas doesn't need to use the Nitrous tonight. Troy Thomas up 4 spots from where he started at. And you got Cody Benelli riding back there in third, just being smooth now. If you're Cody Benelli, you're now going to be on defense from Truce Oak. And once again, from the time that I started broadcasting the series, with Mike Damani some years ago, till now, Truth has come a long ways on road courses. Road courses used to not be his jam.
I mean, I remember when you and I would be doing the Tuesday-Thursday split with these guys, and whether it was the trucks or the Cup car, Truth would always kind of hesitate a little bit on the road courses, but it seems like he's finally kind of got himself used to them and kind
Well, as
of
we
figured
say
out
that, he's going to go through the grass.
Truth, don't be listening to us. I know the commentator's curse is real, man, but damn.
Alex Tuff showing crash. Let's see what happened there.
The 43 hot rod, well, went a little wide coming out of turn 2 and got her crossed up.
Those tires are going to need Aflac now.
Aflac. Well, at least you didn't say they were as sticky as barbecue sauce, because I think Jim Ross would have showed up for that one.
Nonetheless, Troy Thomas there doing Troy Thomas type things here. We're going to go ahead, step aside, take our first commercial break of the night. We're going to go side by side. You won't listen here on Simmer's Media. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Portland International Raceway. We are just now approaching halfway, working lap number 19 as Alex Tuft and Barry Nelson have gone a lap down to the Nitrous Cowboy, Troy Thomas. Troy Thomas out to 15-second gap over Alex Tuft and runaway Sean Dunaway. As right now, Cody Benelli continues to run in that fourth position, and Truth Hook rounds out your top five. There's the gaggle of race cars as Truth Hook just went around Cody Benelli for that fourth position. And Shane, what a race we've seen here so far. Troy Thomas out to a 15 and a half second lead over Andrew Tuft.
Man, I haven't seen a beatdown like this since Oregon decided to dress their duck up like a Labubu and then curse Oklahoma State. This is an absolute shellacking that Troy's putting on the field right now.
Well, just as you say that, Alex Tuft went for a spin cycle. Let's see what happened there as he's decided he's going to do some free landscaping.
Just decided to mow the grass a little bit.
That one hurt.
Got on the throttle with who was that he took with him?
Looks like Stephen Luttrell also.
That's gonna hurt both their nights. I think the 43 might be done for the night.
5 laps away from halfway here. Once again, Troy Thomas all by the lonesome. At some point, he's gonna have to pull the proverbial parachute and come down pit road, or he just might be able to save just enough to make it to the end.
There's no chance of saving it to the end. He does have to come down pit road because there's no way those tires are going to hold up. There's no way fuel's going to hold up. He's going to have to come down pit road at some point.
As Andrew Tuft gets all out of sorts and out of shape.
Meanwhile, it looks like the damaged car was the 5 of Brandon Puffenbarger, because I'm showing him on pit road and he's looking like he's wounded.
You might be right. My eyes might be getting the better of me these days.
Well, Alan, that's when you need to upgrade the prescription of your glasses. I mean, when you start calling a Ford a Yoda, there's a problem here somewhere.
Not to that point right there just yet. Right now.
That's twice I've gotten them, ladies and gentlemen. That's twice.
Pit stop should be commencing here fairly shortly as Lee Campbell is coming down pit road and Barry Nelson are also in.
Yeah, I would assume that this is regular scheduled pit stops. I mean, we're 21 laps into this deal. Yeah, which means they're going to try to make this a one-stop race, which is smart. I think Troy might be going to the outside of the window, which I would assume will be about 24, 25 laps. So that way he can make it the rest of the way, which would be about 20. So, I mean, he might try to come in now knowing that he's got such a big gap, or he might try to stay out, which is what he's doing. So I would assume probably next 3-4 laps he'll probably be in to get some fresh stickers and a little more juice in the gas tank of that hot rod.
Well, I tell you what, when he does, Andrew Tuft will be waiting to take the lead from him. Because
unless Andrew comes down pit road.
I mean, he might stay out just so he can get that lap led. That is an all-important bonus point, especially in the playoff format that these guys run here at Racers Elite. But meanwhile, Sean Dunaway right on his tail. And let's show you what that interval looks like on the onboard.
Am I seeing things, or is that Hello Kitty on the hood?
You are not tripping. That is Hello Kitty.
I need to lay off the Jack and Coke when I'm broadcasting.
Whenever Sean Dunaway makes it to Victor Lane, his cats are always trying to ruin his race.
Well, now he's got a cat on the hood that can't ruin the race. So go figure.
I mean, he's got a cat on the keyboard that tries to all the time.
I know how that goes. I used to have one that was the same way. Once dumped orange juice onto my tower.
22 laps. I would suspect that pit stops will have to commence here anytime for Troy Thomas, Sean Dunaway, or Truth Hoke. There's the eyeball test, and that's how far away Truth Hoke is from Sean Dunaway.
looks like it's about a second and a half, which is about right for the gap. I mean, the pit stops will be coming up shortly.
As it looks like Dennis Kane has pulled the proverbial parachute and says, you know what, I'll do this now. I mean, really, there's no way he's going to go a lap down.
No, I mean, a pit stop was going to run you about, pit time plus the stop, 35, 40 seconds, give or take.
Right. And here comes a couple more drivers.
You got to figure pit speed, I think, is what, 45 miles an hour here?
Yeah, 45 miles an hour. Here comes a couple more drivers coming down pit road.
You're still getting down pit road in about 15 seconds. Add your stop, add getting out. Yeah, it's about 35, 40 seconds. You're not going a lap down making a green flag stop here.
Hartford Barger just showed a crash on the live timing, so let's see what happened there. Maybe.
Old BP ain't exactly having a good day around here, folks.
There he is.
And I don't think we're going to like where this ends. Could have been worse. Could have been worse.
A lot of tire lockups happened right there.
And then he just goes wide just to get out of everyone's way.
I think that was some good driving. Keep it off somebody, keep it out of trouble. Could have been Elliott now coming in to get his pit services done. And Joshua Hill goes around right here in front of us.
Oh, boy.
Let's see what happened there. Just gets on the go fast pedal just a little too hard there, I think.
Yeah, buzzed the tires, and the tire said, nope, I'm good.
One lap away from halfway.
I want to also thank everyone sitting around in the YouTube.com chat. William Luttrell checked in. Stephen Luttrell fan club's in the house. Yeah, it's good to see you hanging around, William. Hope you've been enjoying the race.
Troy Thomas now pulls the parachute and says, I think I got to go to the pit road now.
Well, that means he knows he can go the distance on fuel from here, so why not try to push it?
And you were right. Here comes Andrew Tuff, Sean Dunaway, and Trusoak, which will give the lead if he can catch back up the pit road to that man right there in the 83 car, Rob Yost Jr., who...
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it down to pit road before everyone else comes out. I really don't think so.
No, because here comes Troy Thomas coming up pit road.
Makes the pit stop, keeps the lead. What is this, IndyCar?
Sure. I got to say this about Rob Yost Jr. last night in the truck series. So Blair Holloman, that Blair Holloman who seemed to won everything in season 6.
Oh, that guy! I remember calling a few of those wins.
Yeah. So the update essentially hurt his computer. So Rob Yost Jr. says, you know what? Take my rig, load everything up, and go racing.
I like that.
So Rob Yost Jr. putting himself on the sidelines to keep Blair Holloman's racing season alive, getting into the playoffs. Last night at we were at, where was we last night? Richmond Raceway.
Ooh.
Yeah, very fun track.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
But had to give Rob Yost Jr. a shout out. They are teammates. The driver out of Harrisburg. Harrisburg.
Yep.
So wanted to give him a shout out. And, that is one of the most selfless things you can do is give your teammate a chance to win a race. We got 20 laps to go here at Portland.
Yeah, and it seems like even after the pit stops, no one's going to catch this 3-car. I mean, no.
Providing a power outage or an internet failure,
or an absolute cluster
Ooh,
hit and
Cody
everything.
Benelli just showed crash. Let's see what happened here as he heads down into turnover, down into the chicane. In
Down into
turnover.
one.
Oh, no.
Oh, locked it up, hit the wall, throttled up, and spun it around. And I think there's going to be a lot of damage to the front end of that race car.
Well, here's the good thing is, if he can get that car back around without towing it, he shouldn't lose a lap because he does have a fast repair in his back pocket.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. Just that whole front end just got crumpled though.
Let's see what happened. Let's see if we can see any damage on the front end of that race car there.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit on the left front. I could be wrong.
It looks like the back end's a little crumpled, but
Oh yeah, that's because I think he backed it into the fence when he was trying to, catch the car. I could be wrong, but it looked like maybe either the left front or the right front had a little bit of damage.
Nonetheless, Cody's going to try to make some laps without getting that thing checked out. Andrew Tufto setting the fastest lap of the race so far by a 10th.
Yeah, a 16:79 compared to Troy when he set his best lap at a 16:88. And he is slowly reeling in that 3 car.
I mean, he's got 19 laps to close up a 15.5-second deficit. And Andrew's been known to do stuff like that. Andrew just, he's so smooth on these road courses. Driving with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, this season. And I would dare call this the Andrew Tuft Fun Tour this season in the Xfinity car.
Well, I mean, he is locked into the playoffs, so he's got nothing to lose. So, why not try to chase down somebody now you know what you've got underneath you? If you've got something special underneath you for a setup, looking at it now, Thomas clocked in at a 17:14. Teft is looking like he's going to be, let's take a look, a 17:20. So they kind of evened out, but he still dropped the gap to about 15.5. So he's got to pick up a little bit more each lap, but he's got the time to do it.
Cody Benelli coming on the pit road, I would assume to take care of that damage that he received after overshooting the chicane. Gonna get that fast repair. Probably put it off as long as he could. Figured out he couldn't make the laps.
Yeah, I think why he's coming in is he probably knocked the front end out of alignment when he hit the fence, because he did hit it with the nose, and he probably bent the toe and realized, I can't drive the car with the wheel, cocked sideways at about 3 o'clock.
Exactly. And look, sometimes these Xfinity cars can be a handful as it is. Troy Thomas getting ready to put, I believe that is Joshua Neal. It could be wrong. It looks like Steven Luttrell a lap down.
Yeah. Luttrell just has not had a good day here.
And that's the thing is, two very hard tracks we're heading into, with this being the one and Kern County being a short track. I mean, Kern County in the late model is hard enough. If you put a Xfinity car on there, you're gonna be out of breath. You're gonna be worked out, next week. But then again, there's guys that love short track racing so much that, it just comes natural to them. It's like,
Yeah.
I dabbled with it, but I'm not that good of a short track racer. I'm working on it though.
I've got a lot more short track wins than I do big oval wins, but that's because I'm more used to running like the street stocks, the late models, the modifieds. I've actually got a win in a modified over at USA. Short tracks are more my thing. I'm decent with the bigger ovals, but short tracks, when you grow up around them, when you grow up actually knowing them and crew chiefing on cars on them and everything else, you get to know them pretty well.
Well, on lap number 17, with 17 to go, Troy Thomas says, if you can do it, I can do it better, and runs a 16.73.
I could be wrong, but I'm not. That was actually his best lap.
Yeah.
He had a 1673 for a best. His last lap was a 1735 compared to Teff's 1764. So he picked up 3/10.
Now, there is a bonus point for the fastest lap of the race. So a lot of
And
points still on the table for these drivers.
Yeah, and right now Troy's looking to go Max Verstappen and sweep everything.
Someone's got to do it, buddy.
Yeah, unfortunately, someone's got to be Max Verstappen and someone's got to be Pierre Gasly.
I like the reference.
It just came to me.
Nonetheless, as we fly around this race course on the drone.
Who's flying the drone?
We gave the keys to Dave Wrigley. He wanted to fly tonight, so.
Damn it, Dave! Lay off the whiskey if you're flying the drone.
I like it.
I mean, it could be worse. He could be drinking Budweiser. Or it could even be that nastier stuff, Busch beer.
Steven showed crash. Let's see what just happened there.
I think he just blew the chicane and decided to go through where Connor Zilic went through over the weekend.
And
yep,
he's going to make a left.
That's what happened.
He's going to
He locked it up and full-blown stop and full-blown go. Anytime now. There you go. Yeah, he just locked up the tires and said, I'm just going to go this way.
Well, you know, they say the straight point between A and B is a straight line.
Yeah, but you also got to keep your foot on the throttle to get there quickest. But, you know, when it's a stop and go, it's a stop and go. You know what's crazy is there were people that were saying Connor Zilic intentionally missed turn 1 when he ended up winning here.
I did not know that.
Oh, there's conspiracy theories all over the place because how else would he have been able to keep the lead if he didn't intentionally blow turn 1? And I'm like, you guys realize that he wheel hopped going in and there was no other option. I mean, look at the rest of the field behind him completely stacked up. What else was he supposed to do?
14 laps to go. There's your leader, 16 seconds. And that interval just keeps growing out to 17 over Andrew Taft out of Hope Valley, Rhode Island. There's Andrew Taft coming into the turn 1 chicane. While Troy Thomas is rounding that roundabout, if you will.
Yeah, Troy has got this thing completely in hand right now.
I mean, barring an internet problem, an electrical problem.
Or a squirrel chewing on a wire.
Or, you know, a kitty cat spinning all 9 lives.
Or a technical issue that NASCAR decides to say, hey, wait a minute here, what's going on? We don't need David Hoots getting involved. Put it out! Put it out!
Dennis Kane there riding in that 4th position, just one spot out of the final podium spot. You're not missing anything up front. We're going to look for some other battles around the race course here as Truth Hope is getting ready to battle that 60 car of Lee Campbell for a top 5.
Truth's finally starting to reel that 60 car in, and it looks like he might be able to get to him in the next couple of laps because that 55 is starting to come alive a little bit here.
As it always does. Now, he's been a short track specialist since the drop of the green flag this season.
Well, you know, a lot of people say if you're good on a short track, it does somewhat translate over to the road courses and vice versa. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me to see the old double nickel sitting up here in the top 5.
As Rob Yost Jr. decided he's going to go off race course here, let's see what happens to Rob. And one of the less technical parts of the racing surface.
Coming down the back straightaway here, going into, I believe, 9. He gets on the brakes, and the car says, I'm just going to turn into a lawnmower.
Wait.
Well, that is...
All. Yep,
That is one fast lawnmower.
He's breaking the speed record mowing the grass. Cody Benelli is showing crash. Let's see what happened to Cody there. He's going to
He gets up on the throttle here in the carousel. Everything seems fine. Going into, well, that was weird.
Cody's night just went from bad to worse right there.
I don't know what caused that.
Net code 12 to go here. Troy Thomas out front with an 18-second lead over Taft. Chicken Coop looking to sweep the second, third boxes on the podium right now. 12 laps to go.
I mean, at this point, it's Troy Thomas and then it's everybody else.
You're not wrong. Right now, this is the best battle on the racetrack with Trudeau, Lee Campbell, and Dennis Kane. Right there, it's a three-car battle for that fourth position.
I mean, this is the best thing we've got going on, and they're all lined up bumper to bumper pretty much. So if Truth can actually start working his way around Lee Campbell and then slowly get around Taft, I mean, that's another couple of positions that'll help him in the playoffs.
Well, just as you say that, he's looking around Lee Campbell, looking for a spot he can pass him, starting setting this pass up here, coming down this back straightaway, and try to outbreak him in one of the more technical sections of the racetrack. Looks to the inside. Nope. Thinks better of it. Maybe. No. He's not gonna.
You know what's?
As I say, he's not gonna be content riding around there for too long.
No, he's going to figure out a way to get around him soon. But I was about to say, you know what's scary? Going down that back straightaway at about 200 miles an hour in an Indy car.
I've done it.
Yeah. I would not want to do it again.
11 laps to go. Stephen Luttrell tonight just went about the works. Let's see what happens as he goes off racing service. And
Gets it into this triple apex corner. Gets a little bit wide and slides her into the grass.
did he not get the memo that it was a road course race, not a rally race?
You do realize that some people have actually turned these cars into rallycross cars for fun, right? I'm not kidding you. There have been some leagues that have actually done that.
Nonetheless, Rob Yost Jr. with a respectable 7th place running position right now. Let's go through the field. Troy Thomas continues to lead at 18.5 seconds with 10 laps to go. You know, it's safe to say that he's sitting high, wide, and handsome right behind him. About 18 seconds back, there he is, the pride of Hope Valley, Rhode Island, Andrew Taft. Runaway Dunaway just now coming into the chicane, trying to catch back up to the Boston in there of Andrew Taft. Dennis Kane continues to run there in the fourth position while Lee Campbell hot on his track, and then here Trudeau running in that 5th position. Rob Yost Jr. has 7th, pretty well sewed up here for the time being. Curtis Eckert just some miles back from him, riding in that 8th position. 9th is currently held by Joshua Neal, and Stephen Luttrell, who finds himself 1 lap down, is riding in that top 10. Cody Benelli, his night started out great and quickly spiraled out of control, is riding in that 11th position.
He'll still make up the points. They'll get 12th after this, but you know, high, wide, and handsome. The way that 3 is going, you might as well paint it red, white, and blue and slap a 6 on it, because this is Mark Martin territory. What he's doing on this road course.
Absolutely, Brandon Poffenbarger on pit road, and Alex stepped out of Hope Valley, Rhode Island. Well, guess what? He is going to win the race to the beer stand tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that after getting the front end of that car knocked in, it kind of ruined the day.
Here's Cody Benelli coming through that S, and he's going to, well.
He just went a little too far wide and got it out in the grass again.
Not nearly handsome enough.
Yeah, no, there's a Harry Gant line, and then there's a line you take if you're Travis Pastrana. That line ain't going to work.
9 laps to go. There's Troy Thomas and Nitrous Cowboy. He's been also slid out to a 20-second lead. No one in sight but him and Santa Claus and the fictional Easter Bunny on a delusional canoe.
Aren't they up Crab Creek without a paddle, or is that somebody else?
That's somebody else.
Okay, just checking.
Right now, this is your closest battle on the racetrack, and it's not even a battle. It's Andrew Taft starting to reel in. Troy Thomas there with 8 laps to go. I don't think he's gonna have enough laps to do it.
No, he's got 20 seconds to make up and 8 laps to do it in. I don't see that happening. I mean, this is a shellacking up and down, dude. So I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Joshua Neal showing going around here, and here he is. Gets on the brakes and okay. He almost saved it with the drift style, so I'll give him a 5 on that one.
Give him about a 4. He almost had it, but if he kept the throttle up and went around that corner sideways, I think it would have even impressed the French judges.
Meanwhile, Sean Dunaway in that 01 car. I don't think the kiddies are messing with him tonight. But here
Nope,
he is
I don't
in
think
the
so.
fourth position, or third position, the third and final podium spot, with 7 laps to go.
I got you with the French judges, didn't I?
Slightly.
I mean, I could have said that we would have gotten the Russian judges, but Russia doesn't count.
Nonetheless, Lee Campbell went off track. Let's see what happened to Lee.
Once again, this back straightaway ends up biting more people. He's going to probably overshoot the braking zone. Yep, right there. And it's just going to kick the car off and kick him sideways. And he almost takes Truth with him.
I was going to say, Truth almost followed him. Well, he's going to Dukes of the Hazard that one right out of the crash.
But I love road course race. Shut up, Roscoe.
Cody Benelli's night just got a little bit worse here. He's going to go off racing course. Let's see where he goes off of that.
Looks like the chicane's going to bite another person tonight. He gets in, pitches the first curb. He might have caught the fence a little bit, but throttled up to spin it around and keep going.
That's one way of doing that.
Yeah, it's also a quick way to upset the tires, but, you know, at this point, you've given it everything you've got anyway. Those tires are probably going to be dead anyway, so, whatever.
Troy Thomas continues to lead. Sean Dunaway rounding out your podium so far. And Andrew Tetris, we got 6 laps to go, a half dozen laps to the end of this one. And it has been all Troy Thomas from the top of the green flag.
This has been domination at its finest. I mean, this is...
Here's some breaking news. Let's see what happened to Andrew Taft.
Now looks like he's going to go in this triple, and the car was upset on entry, and he ends up skating it wide. It looked like he came out of the chicane sideways anyway, and he was just trying to fight the car and still try to make the corner, and it just didn't work.
Joshua Neal went off track. Let's see what happened there.
Getting ready to head into the back straightaway, and he just gets too wide on the back straightaway and just ends up kicking up grass.
Five lanes in there, 5 to go for Troy Thomas. He was out to a 23-second lead. And next up on the hit list is Curtis Ecker to get put a lap down.
This has been a drive unlike anything we have really seen. I've covered, a handful of races. I have maybe seen 1 or 2 races since my return that have been like this. But wow.
Well, Troy Thomas needs to switch that 3 to a 6. Because this is remnants of Mark the Kid Martin at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, the 3 in a row, 3 poles, 3 wins. Yeah, that's I remember talking to the kid about that, and ironically, I'm actually be trying to make a trip down to Arundel because there's a car show going on next week, and Mark's actually going to be at it.
Mark the Kid Martin, I can't wait. I hope you make it down there. I can't wait to see the content that you get from down there. As here we go, Curtis Ecker going a lap down to the Nitrous Cowboy with 4 laps to go. Easy does her.
Well, he could just cruise from here. I mean, he could lose. Let me take a look here. 24 seconds. He could lose 6 seconds a lap and be fine. I mean, that's literally going into cruise control mode.
I mean, I think he's already been there. 4 laps to go. Here he comes. He's got just a little over, 4 miles left?
A little over 6. No, this is about a 2-mile trek, so he's got about 8 miles left.
Fair enough.
I think this is just under 2, so he would have just under 8.
Well, at least someone's math is mathing because mine's not. 4 laps to go. Truth Oak now has worked his way into the top 5. And just as we see that here's a few more cars, it looks like. Sean
Well, that's what you get when the public drinking water is actually Busch beer.
Once again, I want to thank our partners here at Racing Elite Network. I want to thank everybody for joining us here at Racing Elite Network. I want to thank Family Traditions Outdoors and RVs, McConey's Setup Shop, and Chaos Designs Admin Box, and our partner at Sim Racing Media, Premier Setup Shops.
Yeah, make sure you guys check out all of our great partners and sponsors here because we wouldn't be here without them, and neither would the league.
Troy Thomas, 3 laps to go. Steven Luttrell going to lock it up here as we are live. And look out, Sean. Oh, that's got to be scary to see.
Yeah, but I think Sean will be able to navigate it. Steve got offline and got out of the way for him.
The only thing I'm waiting for next season, and I'm waiting for them to bring rain to NASCAR.
I would be thrilled when that happens, to be honest with you, because that would be such a game changer.
I think
and I'm still I was going to say I'm still petitioning for them to also bring IROC, but that's another story.
I mean, they brought SRX. I can see
Yeah.
Ray Evernham letting them scan an IROC car. Popsicle
I think
sticks
fine.
for Troy Thomas, nonetheless. The Nitrous Cowboy comes to the chicane. He's got to put together 2 laps, which he's put together, 43 of them.
Yeah, he's already put together 40-plus solid laps, and I've been trying to get Ray to have him scan an IROC car, but so far no dice, but who knows? I mean, if they do end up scanning an IROC car, maybe I'll get credit for that like I did with SRX. Who knows?
But here he is, the Nitrous Cowboy, 2 laps to go. Andrew Tefts, some 25 seconds behind.
Yeah, the popsicle sticks are going to be down. The white flag is going to be up as soon as Troy gets off the back straightaway here. There is nothing but daylight between him and everybody and the flag. This has been an absolute beating.
Here he comes on the backside of the course, getting ready to hit, I believe it's turn number 11. The white flag goes down, or the popsicle sticks go down, the white flag comes out, we are racing back to checkers.
Much of a race when all you see in the rearview mirror is the track, and all you see out the front windshield's the track. Talk about being in a perfect pocket right now. All he's got to do is hit every single mark one more time, and that checkered flag is his.
Absolutely, as we watch that number 3 car come around this course one final time.
There are currently, as I'm looking at the tower, 7 cars on the lead lap. Wow.
7 cars, that's insane.
That is about as worthy as what it was back in the 90s in one of these road course races. So seriously, this is a flashback for us.
One final time around.
Yeah, one final time down the back straightaway. All he's got to do is hit his marks in the 9, 10, and 11, which is what he's going to do perfectly. Catch a little bit of curb on 9, a little bit more curb on 10. Catch a little bit of curb on the 11 before coming out down the drag strip. The Nitros Cowboy has just put a shellacking on everybody. Troy Thomas is going to get it done here in the Pacific Northwest.
What an awesome run from Troy Thomas there as he begins his cooldown lap. Andrew Taft will finish in that second position once he makes it back around. As he is still
Flag
on
the flag. Flag the flag domination. Jeff Burton 2000 in New Hampshire, anybody?
I remember the worst of first race.
Oh, so don't I.
Sean Donaway going to bring it home third. Dennis Kane going to bring it home fourth. Fifth will go to Truth Oak. Robbie Oates Jr. will finish in that sixth position.
Unbelievable. This was one to behold as everyone's basically stopping in the chicane.
That's okay. There's your race winner nonetheless. Truth Oak out of Hickory, North Carolina, or Boone, North Carolina. That's where Truth's from. Troy Thomas, the Nitrous Cowboy, puts on a clinic here tonight from Portland.
Flag to flag beatdown. That's crazy.
He's going to bring it down to the front stretch. I cannot wait to see this.
Oh, yeah. We got to get something for this one, man. Yeah, I was about to say, hey, Dave, get the drone over here. Oh, yeah. Just misses the cone on the end of pit road. Well, at least he didn't pull a Connor Zillich and bust up the left rear.
Now, if he can just keep from falling out of the car.
Oh, God. No, it wasn't too soon. Nope, he hits the wall anyway. Okay, thanks.
Just call that a chef's kiss.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like Biffle at Dover where he completely ruined the rear end of the car when he hit the fence.
Nonetheless, let's get these guys up here into the broadcast booth. Troy, it's Alan and a dog father, Shane Lake. How's it going?
Hello, Alan.
Man, you put on a clinic today.
Thank you. I was waiting for my classic Troy move where I'd mess it up, so.
Man, you could have messed it up and then still won this race. But nonetheless, take it through the race. And, you know, it looked like you were struggling just a little bit in practice, but nonetheless, you pulled it out here and led this thing from rag to rag.
That first corner, I blew it on the start of the race. Crap, and Cody kept right on my tail, and he had an issue or something. But after that, I just put it on cruise control and tried to just not burn my stuff up and just have good, smooth laps. And that's what happened tonight.
Absolutely. Now we go into Kern County next Wednesday night. What's it going to take to get a win there at Kern County? And what's your mindset as you hit from the short track or the road course to the short track?
Patience. Don't burn up the tires. You know, short tracks are good, so just patience.
All right, brother. Before we get you out of here, is there anybody you want to thank to help you get it done on that 3-car?
I want to thank y'all for broadcasting the race. I know everything it goes to. Welcome back, Shane. We missed you.
Appreciate it, Bubba.
Yeah, I missed you, but Andrew for everything he does for Racers Elite. You know, he does a lot for this league, and so I just want to thank him. Can't thank him enough for everything he does. My teammates, Truth and Lee, you know, they raced good tonight. I think he finished 5th and 7th maybe, so they had a good night. So just hold your family close tonight. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, it's a shame that we can't be human beings and have a disagreement without an issue, but it is what it is. So just thank everybody for watching and my wife as well for allowing me to do this.
Awesome job. Well, congratulations, and go down and celebrate that win with the rest of the Misfits.
Thank you, bud.
And that was the voice of Troy Thomas out of the Misfits. We're going to get him back to where... I love it when they do that. Next, Shane, you get to talk to the boss himself, Andrew Tuft.
Hey, boss man, it's Shane and Al up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, looked like Troy had the field covered, and you were the best of the rest of them. What was this race like from your seat? Because it seemed like you had a couple of minor struggles, but all in all, it seemed like you had a pretty solid race for running second.
Yeah, never been here before, so I'll take a second place. But didn't really know what to expect. I was thinking for road courses, it didn't really have a lot of really long, fast braking zones. That's usually where I struggle on road courses, so I thought I might do all right. Kind of reminded me of like a Canadian Tire, but less hilly almost.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, Troy was just super quick. I probably made 10 or 15 seconds worth of mistakes with my little off-track explorations a couple times, but yeah, he was just super fast. I could kind of maintain with him once in a while, but I didn't have the extra speed to actually be able to shrink that gap down.
Yeah, he just had everything covered. Next week, the season ends. Well, the regular season ends at Kern County. Any thoughts going in?
Short track tempers probably, but yeah, that's an interesting place. We've only gone there a couple times. I think last time was ARCA, so we'll have a little bit more power this time. Probably be a little looser. I don't think we've been there in Xfinity off the top of my head. So yeah, it's probably just going to depend on restarts. If it's a long run, I feel pretty good. If it's a short run, gonna have to work a little harder. Not as good at those. So, but get any late race yellows or something, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And again, with it being the last race going into the postseason, there's going to be a lot on the line for a lot of guys. So I'm sure you're going to have your eyeballs on those points for sure going into this race.
Yeah, this one will be really interesting because let's see, Brandon and I are fighting for the regular season championship. Now we're tied, and the final spot is also a tie between Cody and Curtis. So there'll be a lot to talk about next week.
Oh, for sure. Before we let you get out of here, anyone you want to thank on that 98 car that helps you get it done to this P2 finish?
Yeah, first off, I want to just send thoughts out to Charlie Kirk's family. That's was a big event today. It's kind of all I've been thinking about, really. Thoughts to his family, and I want to thank our servicemen and women, you guys, for helping out in the booth, friends, family, team, and if you don't mind doing us a favor, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel homepage. Trying to get to 1,000 now. I think we're just about to crack 700, so pretty excited about that. And if you want to check us out, head on over to racerselite.com. Got a bunch of new seasons coming up fairly shortly, and some free events that you guys could join in the meantime. Also got a big money race this Saturday afternoon before the real life Bristol race on TV. We're going to run the same race full length at 3:30, and I believe you guys will be covering that also. So,
Yep.
A lot going on here, and the website's got all the info.
Yeah, Alan and I will be in the booth for that one, so we can't wait to have 500 laps at Bristol, man. It's going to be a fun one for sure. Hey, celebrate that P2 finish, and we'll see you next week for the regular season finale at Kern.
Yeah, thanks, guys, and congrats again to Troy.
Once again, that was the voice of Andrew Tuft. Last but certainly not least on the podium, his teammate here in Chicken Coop Racing, runaway Sean Dunaway. Sean, if only you could finish 2 positions better, hopefully the Cats didn't ruin that for you.
No, luckily, yeah. Yeah, from 10th to 3rd, I wouldn't say that's too bad of a gig there. Yeah, I think slow and steady was the game. I was using my H pattern shifter, so that was definitely new to me. So, doing that. But hey, 0 incidents during the whole race as well. So I think that kind of contributes to my third place finish there. So no mistakes, and yeah, got up to third there.
Yeah, absolutely. Here as we finish out next week, we shift our attention away from road racing. We go to short track racing. What's going to be the focus this week as you get ready for Kern County next Wednesday night?
Just depends. I guess try to get a little better at those short tracks. I think I've historically done pretty well at Kern. Haven't actually raced it too many times. So definitely had to learn that track a little bit. But yeah, the Xfinity car has been very nice to me this year, or this season. So feeling pretty gripped up with that car, and hopefully we can get another podium position there.
Awesome stuff. Before we get you out of here, who do you want to thank and who helped you get it done on that 0-1 car?
Yep. I'd like to thank my wife, my mom and stepdad for always watching, and then my cats for always trying to ruin the race here.
Well, they didn't ruin the race this week. I was telling,
but still got to shout them out.
I told Shane about because he said, "Is that Hello Kitty?" I said, "Look, the cats are always trying to ruin the race by jumping on the keyboard or spilling drinks, but nonetheless, good run and celebrate that podium with Andrew and the rest of the chicken coop racing."
Yep. Thanks, guys.
And that was the voice of Sean Dunaway. But before I
will say he made a good point. Running an H pattern on a road course is a lot harder than running a paddle shifter. I've been there and done that.
Before we get out of here, we got one more piece of housekeeping business we got to take care of, and that is those final results. You heard from our top three. Finishing fourth is Dennis Kane. True Toke rounding out your top five. Rob Yost Jr. finishing sixth. Seventh will go to Lee Campbell. Eighth will go to Curtis Ecker. He'll finish right where he started at. Joshua Neal will finish ninth. 10th will go to Stephen Luttrell. Cody Benelli had a rocking start, but he will finish in that 11th position. 13th will go to Barry Nelson, and Alex Teff will finish 14th. Shane, any final thoughts before we get out of here and head to Bristol?
Oh, dude, road course racing at its finest. The Nitrous Cowboy laid it down. I don't know what else to tell you guys except the final race of the regular season for these guys at Kern County is going to be a barn burner. But as you just mentioned, I cannot wait for Bristol to hit.
Absolutely. And for the Racers Elite Network, Sim Racing Media, we want to wish everybody a good night. And as you walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Have a good night, everybody.
Until we meet again, everyone, take care.